Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Dinks with Kinks. Before we get into tonight's episode, I want to remind all of you people that we are located on that social media and you should reach out to us. Dinks with Kinks on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm joined today with two of my favorite sexy people who also love kink as much as I do, Miss Rebecca and Mr. Shep. How are y'all doing this morning? I might say we're not evening recording. We are just waking up and recording.
I'm fabulous. How are you?
Well, I gotta say this absolutely sucks. What we're talking about tonight, but it's we're gonna keep it fresh. That's what we're gonna do. We're gonna talk about something that sucks a whole lot, but we're gonna keep it fresh.
Are we? Are you sure?
Oh, you went to the lowest denominator on that one, didn't you?
It's early, dude. I can't punt it out. I can't. My brain not working. I can do two things right. One thing of the two things I could do. I could be funny or I could be informative, and I've got all the information next to me to be informative.
Okay.
No, I'm here for it. It's okay. Yeah, I'm here for informative. Fill me with that
informative
information. Fill me with it.
We are talking about vacuum beds, vacuum bondage.
You're right. This kink does sort of suck.
But very form-fitting.
It is very form-fitting. See, somebody's had their coffee.
It's been up for hours.
Oh.
Yeah, not I.
Not I. Said the little brown bear.
So, now, of course, we're not talking about tying up your vacuum cleaner. Doing the little cord wrap that every vacuum cleaner has. We're not talking about that kind of bondage. We are actually talking about, okay, you guys ever,
is it like the meat sealers?
Food?
Yeah, I like the food savers. I love those things. Yeah.
Now imagine one large enough for a person.
Oh my God, I would totally do it. I don't think I would get off on it, but it would be a lot of fun, I think. But I don't know. I can't say I wouldn't get off on it because I've never done
juices
it.
If you did.
It would keep me fresh.
Still in the juices. So vacuum bondage is a form of BDSM whereby a person lies down inside a latex bed made explicitly for the bondage, with the latex covering their bodies entirely. Maybe they'll do like a little breath tube, like they'll put a little hose in your mouth so you can breathe. But your entire body, head and everything covered.
I have seen videos like that. Somebody had done that. I think I wanted to say they did that. I saw a video where they did it in Rome, except they did it as an art piece. Like, they sit there and they got vacuum sealed as an art piece. And I was like, I thought that was really fun. I thought that was cool.
It can be used very artistically. And yeah, what they do is they vacuum seal it. We have tried it before. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was going to say, with Rome, Catholics, all this stuff, you have to deem it as art in order to show off your kink.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know what this really was. So,
this one I've actually tried before, and this is like a fun one to try. If you have a shop vac, and we used leaf bags, like just regular trash bags, and we sat in them.
Now I want to try it.
And pulled the bag up to our necks.
Uh-huh.
And what you do is you take the hose from the shop vac and put it in, like you sit not Indian. What is it? Crisscross applesauce?
Yeah, it's crisscross applesauce now. I think that's what they're like.
Boy,
is that the official name?
That's what they call it now.
Yeah.
I about said something very cancelly.
Yeah, don't do that.
Because of how I grew up. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's how I grew up. But yeah, no, it's a horrible thing to say. Anyway, you sit cross-legged and you put the vacuum hose between your legs. You turn it on and kind of pinch the bag. Yeah. You pinch the bag around your neck and it will seal you in there, and it will suck all the air out of there, and you can't move. Like, it is perfect bondage.
I mean,
you think you would be able to bend the plastic,
right?
And stretch out the plastic? No.
Once it's form fit, there's nothing to stretch or bend because it's totally against your body.
I can see that.
It totally encapsulates you.
You get all wrapped up in it.
You do.
You know what? You know how I feel about bondage and restrictive things. I feel like I might be into it. I think the only thing that I would be a little for me is around my face. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think I would be okay up to my neck, but I think on my face I that's where I would be like.
Why are you lying to the audience? I think I might be into it. With that big cheeser smile she knows she has going about it. She's like, I might be into
I can
this,
hear her
but
smile.
Inside her head,
yeah,
it's like, I want it.
I mean, okay,
See, come on.
You can't see my face and
We're
you still can hear that. Okay, cool.
We're supposed to be an honest podcast here.
You're right. Okay, I would be into it.
Yeah. So some of the common misconceptions, while the thought may seem very daunting, like you were just saying, like around the face and whatnot, most people find it like super comforting. Like it's one of those things when we talked about it in our bondage episode, the security sensation, like weighted blanket.
Oh, then I know I definitely would be into it. Because I have like the heaviest weighted blanket ever.
Yeah, well, imagine it completely formed around you, compressing you in like all the right places, because it's all of the places.
Okay, I'm here for it.
I wonder if you could almost kind of tiptoe into chastity with this thing, because I mean, with that thing form fit, I mean, the guys might struggle there. Be like, pink, pink, pink. Ah, I can't.
Oh, see, that's the fun part.
No
a lot of people. Well, I mean, as it's vacuum forming, if guys are really into it, I imagine, it's a game to beat the erection, beat the vacuum form.
It's a race. It's a race to see who inflates or deflates first.
Oh,
it's a suck race.
It is a suck race.
It is a race that sucks.
It's get your juices flowing before it can vacuum seal, man.
Yep.
Some of my favorite clips I've seen of this is, so they vacuum form in there, and a lot of times they'll have a gas mask on to make sure you could breathe, or just literally just a hose tube, like just little straw.
Like a snorkel.
Essentially.
No, like a
vacuum form snorkel.
Gas mask with a big tube running to them.
Gotcha. Cool.
Yeah. Because then you could do breath play. You are putting all your breath into one tube that someone could come by and just boop. So if you're into breath play.
Yeah.
And you may not be able to see what's going on. I don't know. I've never done my head, so I don't know what the visual of it being inside there is. I kind of want to try that though.
I have seen it. They turn their head to the side because like the video I saw.
You do.
Yeah, and it's like they turn your head to the side, and it's, I don't know. That was pretty though.
I think they would do that so it doesn't crush your nose.
That fair. Well, that would be not fun. You get vacuum sealed in, but your nose is broken. I don't know. Yeah.
One of my favorite things to see is when they use toys in this situation. Where you take a magic wand, the little vibrating toy, and you put it in there in places.
It sounds like so much fun.
It does.
You can get really inventive with this one.
So yeah, this is definitely.
You can do a lot of science with that one too, because you can then to see the effects of electricity in a vacuum chamber. It's
I was about to cover sensory play.
Cover it. Forrest it, Big Daddy.
Cover it. One of the most fun things to do while you're vacuum sealed is sensory play. And Shep, I'm gonna let you take over what you mean by a shocking good time.
Well, I mean, at this point, I haven't experienced that one, but I mean, just due to background knowledge, I can only imagine. Because I mean, think about the fun you can have with electricity in a vacuum chamber, or if you perhaps vacuum out the air, put in a little bit of different kind of gases, and it's almost like you have they called? You know, the little things where you put your hands on it and the...
Oh, the Tesla? The Tesla?
No, it's like the plasma ball.
Yeah, a little plasma ball type thing.
Oh, yeah.
Because electricity reacts totally differently in
a vacuum.
Different gases or in a vacuum, yeah.
My favorite thing would be, I mean, just having a latex fetish in general. You are completely encased in it. Trying to move around, the sensation of the latex on your skin, or if you like, let's say, you have any type of clothing fetish, like pantyhose or socks or certain types of mesh, like that, having it pressed into you, and the only thing you can feel is that.
I have to imagine that it is such a great sensation. Like, I know how I feel like when I'm in corsets or I am in those tight-fitting clothing, and even though I haven't participated in it, I can just imagine that it's a comforting. It's one of those things where it can be erotic and comforting all at the same time. And I can imagine how appealing this would be, as long as your claustrophobia doesn't kick in, you know?
Yeah. But that may be part of, you know, the thrill, the turn on. We've talked about peril play before. The idea of like fear denoting arousal.
Scarousal.
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 So it might just be an added bonus.
Scarousal. But also in another the sensory type, you can think about how much how things are getting compacted, and then depending on male or female, how your different body parts really laid tight, and so as a finger from the outside is caressed against those different parts, how it would feel.
Yeah, that would be an interesting thing, like how you feel if you were laid flat. Of course, I wouldn't be able to resist. I would always try to do the Han Solo and Carbonite.
Oh my god! But see, that makes you a good nerd, though. I feel like
Yeah.
except you do the woody Carbonite.
Yeah.
You'd be the porn version. The porn version.
I want to be the porn version of Han Solo and Carbonite with my bone.
It would not be Han Solo. It would be Han Solo, right?
Yeah. Yeah, just keep my hands down on my bean bag.
One of the ultimate safe sex things, because I mean that makes a perfect juices sealing protection for you.
Right.
Good luck getting me pregnant.
Gives all the meaning to safe sex.
Does.
Sanitary.
But this would be like, okay, so think of this concept: doing vacuum form with somebody. It's not just you in there.
Ooh, is that the ultimate soaking?
That might essentially be the ultimate soaking.
Like you.
But I don't know if you could do it while inside somebody. I don't know if I'd want to let that vacuum into near my bits, near my active bits.
Well, no, like if you go from behind, I'm thinking of logistics here. Like if you go in from behind, where you like you're spooning, I feel like it could work. You just wouldn't do missionary. You just be like behind. I feel like you can make it happen.
You can do a shape form into a centaur or something. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I know, being in there, but like, so imagine being like inches away from somebody, not being able to touch them. Like, you're vacuum formed, and just, there's so much you could do with edging and denial right there.
Oh my god. Yeah, you could. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be so much fun.
That would. Being entirely like, just like, I've tried not with the head, but like body. You can't move. Like, you think you will be able to like use your muscles, but inertia is a thing. You need a little bit of inertia to just start moving.
Well,
yes, you do. Damn foam beds.
I know that, like, with my weighted blanket, because I have, like, the heaviest weighted blanket you can get, which isn't good because you're only supposed to have a certain weight compared, percentage for your body weight or whatever. But it's like you can't move. Like, it is, like, weighs you down, and sometimes your muscles, you end up sore when you have just that resistance. Not even the fact that you're doing anything. It's just the resistance of it. It's just everything's straining to move.
Good concepts.
And we're going to talk about some of that in the safety session, because definitely there's some things to talk about. But also sensory deprivation is another. We talked about sensory play, but also this is very popular with sensory deprivation.
Yeah.
Because add a blindfold in, you're already not able to talk or move.
Oh.
If you were like, if the vacuum form was suspended, so you weren't even laying down, that would be total sensory deprivation.
Wow, you're right.
Which I've always wanted to experience.
Really? I'm all for sensory deprivation, but like when we talk about it in the sense of like sight and hearing and, maybe weightless, like being bound, like with your hands, but
all of it at once.
Yes. This is one of those ones where it's like complete encompassing, like all of it at once. I feel like that would be too much for my neurodivergent brain. Like that there's carousal and that little anticipation, and then there's full blown like panic. You cross over that threshold.
That is my thought too, because I'm super neurodivergent. I need stimuli. In fact, I won't even I do multiple stimuli at the same time just to keep my brain happy.
Yeah, me too.
If you took all away,
yeah,
took them all away, I think I would go insane immediately.
Oh yeah.
So I kind of want to try it.
Yeah, this is another one that can delve into, say,
yeah,
human furniture. Because you vacuum seal somebody in like all fours and everything else, then they're in that perfect little tabletop form, a nightstand.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that being said, now that I'm like mid panic attack, thinking about having no sensories, let's talk about safety. Let's talk about some of the risks that are involved with this kink. It's there are a couple, but this is not a dangerous one. If you do it right, this is perfectly safe. Of course, the very first one is breathing, asphyxiation. You want to make sure you're very aware. You want to make sure that the person in there can breathe, or if you're doing breath play, don't go longer than 5 seconds. Typically, the fun thing about vacuum form play, it's an easy just fix. You can get out of there really fast. The minute the pressure, the minute the vacuum stops sucking, it's just like a vacuum pressure. Air wants to be in there, so turn the vacuum cleaner off and it will pop you back open.
I'm imagining because I just moved, so all I can imagine is being vacuum sealed and then somebody just razor blading it and then just going. Yeah.
Oh, I wonder what they would do.
Thinking about it, and I think that this particular fetish, people way back in the day could have really taken advantage of this one, because I remember, I don't know if it was renting an old house at one point in time, but you ever remember those houses where they had the central vacuum system to where they had vacuum pipes in each of the bedrooms that you just hook a hose up to, so you don't have a vacuum going around?
Those things always trip me out. Those things are so cool.
I know. I always thought those were great. I was like, let's sweep over there.
Well, some of the other things to watch for is, make sure if you're doing full body, you can't really have a safe word. So do try to limit how long you do it. Even if you're doing breath play and you know the person, there are other risk factors. Because, like I said, I may be able to hold my breath for, maybe 30 seconds. But if it was vacuumed too tightly and it pushed all the air out of my lungs, I no longer have any breath to hold. So be aware how tight the vacuum seal is, how long your partner is.
Talks.
Yeah, about 5 seconds at a time to just be like, all right, here we go. We're dialing it in. So practice. Other dangers, and believe it or not, dehydration.
Dehydration. Like
sucks the moisture out of you.
Huh.
Sucks the moisture out of you.
I never thought about that. All I was thinking about was other fluids.
Yep.
It sucks all the fluids.
Well, also, like, it cuts circulation off, every bit of it.
Depending on the strength of the vacuum, of course. So, no matter what, test the vacuum pressures and all that kind of stuff as well.
Yeah.
Some things can be too much suck.
Can be too much suck. You could have numbness and dizziness. Yeah, too much suck. Numbness and dizziness from, like, nerve pressure. Because, like I said, you are squeezing, so you could have, like, that. You could even have bruising from being squeezed too tight. Just like, being tied too tight.
Or maybe think about the bruising that you get, even though you look like you had a battle with an octopus after having a cupping session. Even a professional one at massage therapy. So
well, anytime think of that.
At the the source or main location of the vacuum's hose, you might have some bruising there because of that suck motion.
And a lot of that could be, like, position that you're sitting in. Because, like I said, when we did vacuum form, we weren't laying down. We were sitting in a bag. So when we did get sucked, one time I remember I had my arm in between my leg, and it hurt. Because, like I said, when it sucked in, it bent it in a way I wasn't comfortable with. So, you might have to do a couple test tries to make sure you're in a comfy position when all the pressure gets sucked out.
That's the ultimate hickey.
Do some good testing, because first time John did it, then he was able to pee around corners for a bit, so,
Yeah. It bent things in ways.
It's a whole new experience.
But this is definitely a kink that's just super fun to try. Like, I would love to experience. I don't know if I would go, like, full on. Like, I've seen some where they're, like, standing cages and the vacuum seal is in the middle. They're insane rigs. But you could literally do this with a shop vac. Maybe, I don't know if you could use a regular vacuum cleaner. I don't know if the power is great enough. Depends on how good your vacuum. The rainbow vac. That's what we used. We used a rainbow vacuum. And
we might have to demo suck you one time on an episode.
Phrasing ship demo suck. They might be showing up to expect something completely different.
That's true.
I know my phrasing.
Okay,
I stand by it.
You're right. You're right. Thank you. I'm sorry.
We know exactly what we did. But yeah, so this is something you could absolutely try on your own. Just be mindful of the situation, and you don't have to go out and buy a ton of stuff. Like we literally use garbage bags, like the large garbage bags, and you just had to kind of create a seal around the nozzle and your neck.
Which then you can test into the demoralizing fetish. Get in there, you trash. Get in the garbage bag.
Oh, it's one of those combo fetishes. Got it. Cool.
This is 100% a combo fetish. Oh yeah, it's bondage. It's bondage, baby. You can do everything with it.
Bondage. It's the Swiss Army knife of kink.
That's kind of what I love. Just like the idea of it. It's so fast, so simple, so easy, and it's endless things you could do. Like I don't need to know how to tie a knot. I don't need to know how to pierce anybody with a needle or talk a certain way. I could just.
I mean, you know how to pierce people with your needle
with my voice.
Well, there's that.
But this is just a fun kink to kind of get into. And if you're into bondage, if you like weighted blankets, try it. This could be a kink that you didn't even know you had.
Well, see, now I have to try it. Now that's something I'm just like, something else to go on my list. Because I love my weighted blanket. I love it.
So, do you sleep under your weighted blanket?
I absolutely do.
Okay, so imagine a vacuum seal that's like up to your neck. It's not your face. And it's just a flat bed. Would you sleep that way?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seal in the freshness.
Yeah, seal in the freshness. Vacuum
this
seal.
also gives you a movie flashback, though, from the beginning of Fifth Element. He puts the priest in the bed,
That's true.
And then the bed seals him. The vacuum seals the breach to the bed. Yes,
multi-pass. Multi-pass.
See?
I think it's a whole new meaning to multi-pass.
Multi-pass. But yeah, this is something I would definitely like to try. I've always wanted to become a vacuum form. Of course, I would always do weird poses. I would see how what kind of crazy pose I could get in there and be stuck into.
That's a shocker that you would try to do weird poses. Of course you would.
And those people that do have the claustrophobia kind of fears, or the kind of the fear of being closed into things. One way you can test out whether you can even delve into the bag is to maybe do the basic kind of saran wrap bondage.
Mm-hmm.
And then see how it feels to just be like an arm or leg or your chest wrapped in the saran wrap kind of securely, and see how that feels against you before you delve into this one as well.
Actually, I think I just got a new fantasy out of this. All right, new section.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Okay. I would love to do this with somebody, like in there with me. I don't know for why, but that just made me horny. The thought of like being vacuum sealed with somebody and we're both just like in complete helplessness.
Mm-hmm.
With like, okay, so imagine you and your partner.
Yeah, but you would have to have somebody there.
He just wants to be
you?
like, he just like wants to be butt to butt with like Hope or Sean.
Yeah,
wrapped
probably.
Up in there, right?
Yeah.
You wanna slap butt cheeks all tight.
Oh yeah. Oh, you'd have to have a third for sure, because how else are you gonna do it?
Yep.
Well, I wonder if you could rig like an electric. No, I wouldn't want to risk that.
No.
Like a little power button in there, because if you couldn't move and you were just stuck on it, you're just like, well, this is where I live now.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
always
not
always
safe.
have an outsider. People never do it without a safety.
That is some good advice. That's the advice we're gonna go on to. Always have an outside buddy, a plug puller. Oh, you always need someone to pull the plug for you. I want you guys to pull the plug for me if it gets.
Or just be like
Hey,
sitting
John,
on a
I'll be your
table
plus one.
so you can fall off and
I'll be your plus one.
pull the plug that way.
You'll be my plus one. Wait, in the bag with me or my plug puller?
It depends on how good you are.
All right. Well, that said, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to some Dinks with Kinks. And I have been your host, one of the three wonderful hosts, John Dondera, and with me is the Mr. Shep.
Till next time.
And Miss Rebecca.
Goodbye, everyone.
And remember to follow us on the social media at Dinks with Kinks, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. Bye!